In the luminous glow of a synthetic sun, Zara moved stealthily through the abandoned lower districts, a ghost in the wasteland of the forgotten past. The year was 2437, and the city around her pulsed with life, but it had no room left for the relics of antiquity. Society had forsaken tangible reality for the perfection of a digital existence. She was an anomaly, a lover of the obscure and cryptic, a hunter of the relics society had cast away. One such relic loomed ahead now, an unmarked metallic door rusted with age and bleakly standing against time. Her heartbeat quickened at the sight. Every unexplored door held the promise of a story, a whisper from a world long silenced. Pushing it open, Zara stepped into a realm of shadows and hush whispers, an alien realm of wood, paper, and ink. She switched on her torch, and the light caught an eerie dance of dust motes. Her breath hitched as she saw shelves crammed with objects so rare that she could barely believe her eyes. Thousands of books, their spines proudly displaying their titles in gold leaf and embossed letters. It was like stumbling upon a forgotten treasure chest. Zara's fingers trembled as she reached out to touch the cover of a nearby book. It was ornate and filled with the mystery of centuries. Despite the sterility of her digital world, she had always craved the connection so inherent to touch, the tactile proof of a world that once was, relics bearing the fingerprint of human endeavor and thought. The moment her fingers grazed the coarse texture of the weather-beaten cover, she felt an electric thrill, a stark contrast to the sanitized smoothness of digital tablets. She pulled back the cover, revealing delicate, time-worn pages filled with inscriptions of the bygone era, the scent of antiquity, the faint, lingering aroma of ink, paper, and stories waiting to be told filled her senses and tugged at her curiosity. In the comfort of this anachronistic sanctuary, Zara sat cross-legged on the floor and began to read. It was mesmerizing. The words painted vibrant spectacles of adventure, love, and insight so rich and organic that they made her breathless. The novel's world was immersive, nourished by every turn of a page, every stroke of print beneath her fingertips, and the distinctive scent of the paper, an experience unattainable in the sanitized information upload sessions back home. Days turned into weeks as she savored each book, lost in the dance of words and tales. She shared few parts of her life with anyone, let alone her newfound hobby. But who could she tell? Who could comprehend the immense pleasure she found between the lines, in the texture of paper, and the intoxicating sight of rows upon rows of books? She did, however, let in on the secret, her closest companion, Orion, a fellow enthusiast of the olden days. Their friendship was a product of many shared secrets and a mutual yearning for the past. Orion's amusement quickly turned into fascination around the experience of reading, and their bond deepened over shared books and whispered discussions. For a while, it was their paradise, untouched by the glaring scrutiny of the Syndicate, the governing body that had dictated every aspect of their lives since birth. They had no reason to fear discovery, yet a part of Zara couldn't shake off an increasing unease. While she transgressed their world for the books, she unknowingly set a series of events into motion, events that would shatter the world she had known, for better or for worse. But blissfully oblivious to the turbulent path ahead, Zara pushed aside her worries. She was only a young woman who had found her wonderland in an ancient library, and it was in this sanctuary of words that she would bask in the illusion of peace, for the time being, unhinged from the coming storm. Beneath the soft glow of preserved incandescent lamps, Zara and Orion excitedly explored the intricacies of the physical books. In a society that had exchanged the art of reading for instant knowledge uploads, they reveled in the unfamiliar sensation. The crinkle of paper, the caress of words imprinted on it, the exhilarating rush of a story unfolding at their own pace. However, Zara's absences from her daily upload sessions were becoming more frequent and longer. The Syndicate's AI algorithm noticed the anomaly, a blip amidst a sea of conformity. She was flagging up on a system that thrived on synchronicity and predictability, a ripple disrupting a mirror-still lake. As Zara delved deeper into the antiquated joy of reading, she inadvertently ended up inspiring a silent revolution around her. She began lending some of the books to Orion, who ventured on to share them with others. They were not rebels, merely enthusiasts of an old-era novelty. Gradually, what they thought was a harmless shared fascination began to take on a life of its own. In the monotonous confines of the Syndicate's regulated society, the concept spread like a thrilling secret. More people were drawn to the novelty of these paper reads, craving their palpable reality over ethereal digital downloads. A subculture began to take form in the underbelly of society, gaining the cryptic name allure of paper. Whispered conversations dappled the airwaves. Excitement grew. The forbidden fruit of antiquity was, after all, too tantalizing to resist. Unbeknownst to them, each missing session, each shared book, and each whisper adding to the crescendo that was slowly tipping the scales, drawing the persisting gaze of the Syndicate. Sleepless sentinels of information highways started catching echoes of a subversion. Curiosity became concern, and the concern was escalating into alarm. Simultaneously, amidst the crammed shelves, Zara discovered a book quite unlike the others. Its cover was inconspicuous, dusty, as though intentionally made to be overlooked. Scrawled in the corner of the opening page were the words, "The Last Librarian." And unlike the other books, this one was non-fiction. The passages outlined the clandestine history of the library, the tales of a rogue keeper of stories, and the approaching demise of independent thought. In this unsuspecting book, secrets resided, waiting to be decoded and understood. Beliefs would be shattered and truths questioned. The more Zara and Orion read, the more they realized that their innocent rebellion was part of a larger, obscured narrative. Their idyllic realm of paper and ink was on the precipice of a revelation of a lifetime, and when they found themselves standing at the edge of an enormous precipice, they had no way of knowing just how far and deep that fall was going to be. Zara stood shivering in the makeshift meeting hall, bathed in the muffled glow of an underground lamp. She was surrounded by fellow members of the allure of paper, a group of awakened minds, hungry for the tactile remnants of a bygone era. She just finished reciting the aged prose of Hemingway, and Orion was citing verses from a poet named Oliver, his voice resonating with every carefully chosen word. It was a serene moment, however fleeting, one imbued with the profound joy of shared discoveries. Yet, there remained an undercurrent of unease. Spread around Zara were the rebels of their orderly society, laying bare the quiet insurrection, escalating in hidden corners and dimly lit basements. The allure was threading a dangerous route, and the Syndicate wouldn't ignore the thrum of rebellion for long. Indeed, the storm Zara feared wasn't looming anymore, but was upon them. On a chillingly regular day, as the synthetic sun glowed with an automated morning spark, Orion was captured. The Syndicate, with its mechanically efficient grip over the orderly society, had decided to intervene. Back at the library, Zara received a cryptic message from one of Orion's allies. Every line was a thinly veiled warning, every word a dagger laden with caution. The Syndicate was closing in. She knew she should run, fade into the crowded network of identical minds, but Orion was detained, and the Last Librarian's book demanded her attention. Armed with a newfound resolve and a pressing need to understand what was at stake, Zara sank deeper into the librarian's narrative. The library, their refuge, was metamorphosing into a labyrinth, cryptic secrets. In the dim light filtering through the cracked wooden window, Zara observed the aged diagram on the Last Librarian's book. It was a cryptic blueprint of the library leading to a hidden compartment, an architectural riddle waiting to be solved. Hours of scratching pen against paper, decoding, cross-referencing, stranded amidst symbols and references, led to a stunning discovery. There wasn't just a secret in the book. The library housed a secret within itself. A clandestine sunken vault lay under the library, whose existence was blotted from archives and literature. The Last Librarian deemed it the womb of the library, the final refuge for a book quite unlike the others, a final tome. It contained a truth so potent that it could shatter the meticulously controlled reality the Syndicate crafted. With Orion gone and the allure under threat, Zara steeled herself for the Herculean task ahead. Beliefs and fear alike were pushed aside. After all, they began their rebellion with an inherent desire to recover lost stories. Now, facing the ruthless machine of the Syndicate, they were becoming a part of one. The difference? Their story was inked not just on paper, but etched in the very threads of their existence. A labyrinth of shelves towered around Zara as she processed the information. The secret keeper was the library itself, a silent guardian of truths too potent for the world above. The grandeur of stories around her seemed dwarfed by the knowledge of the uncharted territory beneath her feet, an obscure vault that held the final tome. Her hands trembled, not with foreboding, but with the anticipation of revelation, as she turned over the last page of the last librarian's guide. An overlapping maze drew her eyes, every cryptic symbol pointing towards a hushed secret. Kneading her resolve into courage, Zara set out on her quest. Following the arcane map was a challenge, the vision of the past obscured by dust and age. It was a labyrinth, its twisted trails leading her through unexplored back alleys of the library. The quiet echoed around her, only interrupted by the steady rhythm of her footsteps and the rustle of the pages marking her path. The air turned colder, a sign that she was on the right path, descending deeper into the secretive realm. She was a soul adrift in the river of eternity, borne on the flow of forgotten tales. Her heart pounded like war drums as she resolved the final clue. Hidden beneath an oriental rug and a floorboard was a metal lock, waiting for long to be set free. In the complete solitude of the library, eyes widened in shock and elation, Zara unlocked and pushed open the door to the vault. The air that rushed to meet her was cool and archaic, musty with secrets held far too long. Inside the vault lay a single item, bathed in the spotlight of a lone lamp. A book, the final tome. It was ensnared in a glass case, waiting to unfold its tale to an audience worthy enough to find it. Its pages held the power to rattle the Syndicate, to sweep away the artfully engineered cobwebs concealing the truth. Meanwhile, over the ground, the Syndicate tightened their hold. Interrogations became harsher. Orion was subjected to the relentless pursuit of the truth. The once thriving allure of paper was now a placard of fear for many. People receded into their comfort of oblivion, the fear of retribution shadowing their thirst for rebellion. Zara, secluded in her vault of truth, could feel the palpable fear gripping the city above her. The chilling dread coiling inside her sparked an outright rebellion. She was the silent reader no more. She resolved to become the invisible ink that would rewrite their narrative. She had lost her friend and had a mighty foe to fight, but beneath the scars of fear, hope blossomed. For as she looked upon the final tome, she knew the tale was yet unfinished. The final stroke awaits to be made, and it would be of her own doing. Orion's imprisonment, the creeping fear, and the allure of paper, it was a moment poised on the brink of chaos and truth. And the catalyst was right in front of her, lying silent yet potent in an unread final tome. The air within the vault was dense with secrets yearning to unfurl. Zara, with hesitant fingers, opened the final tome. Its pages shone with a sheen unlike any other book. They were not the bearers of tales, but seeds of revolution. Within its annals laid bare a startling revelation. The Syndicate, an omnipresent advocate of unity and order, had been manipulating the knowledge uploads all along. They curated and distorted the historical records, selectively eradicating portions of truth, sprucing up unpleasant instances, all as part of a larger conspiracy to suppress dissent and curate a reality of their own design. Zara stood frozen as the magnitude of the final tome's truth cascaded over her. The Syndicate wasn't a benign educator, but an omnipotent puppet master, pulling strings in the shadows. People around her, herself included, were not the observers of history, but inhabitants of an elaborate illusion. As this stark realization sank in, a new determination took root within her. It was time for the puppet to cut its strings. She carefully photographed every page of the final tome. Ensuring the photos were secure, she set out, ascending from the depths of buried words to face the world above. The silent library seemed different, each book now a testament of untold oppression, each page a whispering crusader of historical truths. Emerging from the library, she stared at the synthetic sun. The city beneath it was about to awaken from its long-forged slumber. Orion's capture, the dissolution of the allure of paper, the echoing silence of rebellion, was about to be challenged. Zara digitally transmitted the evidence to every single person, the truth in stark evidence against the Syndicate's meticulously crafted facade. As the pages of the final tome flooded the data highways, people paused. The stream of bellied truth shook the society at its core. A digital riot unfolded on the network. Anonymous voices demanded justice for Orion and accountability from the Syndicate. Allegiances shifted and allowed the society to cast away the veil that had hindered their vision for centuries. Meanwhile, in the cold and solitary confinement of a Syndicate cell, Orion's personal upload device beeped. A single message displaying "The truth is revealed," signed by Zay. A soft smile played on his lips. Although he would never get out, their silent revolution had not died. The echoes of rebellion spurred the world into chaos. Still, amidst the cacophony, Zara stood silently in front of the library, the beacon of their revolution. As the synthetic sun set, it marked the beginning of a new era. Devoid of manipulated truths, free of puppet masters, their society reborn from the ashes of the old, ignited by the spark of a centuries-old truth. The last library watched in silence, its pages turning in the breeze to whisper stories of resolute characters, hidden doors, secret vaults, and quiet rebellions. For such tales were the echoes of a fallen world, the heralds of a new dawn, the echoes of ink